can't tell you the exact number. Every year, it's over 1 million that are distributed throughout the United States.
Wow. Well, again, thanks for being here. Thanks for what you do. Does anyone else have any questions? Okay.
Thank you.
Good luck. Thank you. The next on our agenda is the proclamation for Arbor Day. We're a little late getting this in front of you, but I think it's certainly worth reading in. So, whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees. And whereas this holiday, called Arbor Day, was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska. And whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world. And whereas trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, lower our heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are a renewable resource giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. And whereas trees in our city increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community. And whereas trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. Now, therefore, I, Sue Fookman, Mayor of the City of Norfolk, by the power invested in me, do hereby proclaim that April 27, 2012, was Arbor Day here in our community. And certainly, I believe our citizens stepped up to the plate, followed through with that effort with the Earth Day. And to all those that were a part of it, I commend them. So, again, right into the minutes. And next is a proclamation for National Bike Month. Whereas for more than a century, the bicycle has been an important part of the lives of most Americans, and whereas millions of Americans engage in bicycling as an environmental sound form of transportation, an excellent form of fitness, and provides quality family recreation, and whereas, according to the League of American Bicyclists, half of the American population live within 5 miles of their school or workplace, a distance that is easily covered on bike, and whereas since 1956, May has been designated as National Bike Month, and the third Friday of May as Bike to Work Day. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Sue Fookman, Mayor of the City of Norfolk, do hereby proclaim the month of May 2012 as National Bike Month. I'm going to bet, Diane, maybe you're going to come forward and accept this? You bet. I think what I heard was going to happen is that Dennis Smith was going to...
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
He's going to be our poster child for biking.
Exactly. He's going to challenge all of his city staff to ride their bikes on that day. So.
That's right. On May 14th, we're asking as many people as possible to bike to work. And so we're going to have bagels from Big Apple Bagels at First Bank at the corner of Norfolk Avenue and 13th Street. And so you can have a bagel and do some coffee if you stop in. So everybody get on your bike on Monday. Thank you.
Thanks, Diane. Okay. Next on the agenda, Roger Nantico, NeighborWorks.
Thank you, Mayor Sue and members of the City Council. I've been wanting to do this for quite some time as far as having this opportunity to share with you where and what NeighborWorks Northeast Nebraska has done for the community, and I'm privileged to have that honor to take that time today of yours to share our story with you. Just a little bit of background and individuals I have with me today. Joe Ferguson serves as our president. Jody Carlson is our client services director, and Mitch Borst is our housing manager. The three of us are three of 8 staff members. We have a total of 8, 2 are part-time. We have 6 that work here in our Norfolk office and 2 in our Columbus office. So we all have various duties to perform and do a great job in carrying out the mission of the organization. Our organization was established back in 1994. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization. As I said, there's 8 staff members. We have currently 9 board members. We are in the process of recruiting 3 additional board members, and just recently Connie Gary has joined our board. So we'll be starting her duties this month. And I'd like to acknowledge Mayor Sue was a past board member, and also Scott Cordes is a past board member of our organization too. So thank them for their time and efforts of serving that capacity as well. I started as a part-time executive director back in 1995, and has helped the organization grow to what it is today, to the 2 offices, and like I said, there's 8 staff members. We started in the offices of the Northeast Nebraska Economic Development District, but I was working part-time for the Development District and part-time for our organization of NeighborWorks. And from that point on, we eventually grew, and in 2000 is when we moved into our current office space on South First Street. In 2005, we actually acquired that building, so we are the owner of that building. We have the 2 tenants there, Gutschall Insurances, and also the Upward Bound program of the University of Nebraska. So we're glad to have those tenants join us in our office building there. In 2007 is when we received our invitation to expand our services to the community of Columbus. That's when we opened our second office. It was a discussion that we had for many years, probably 3 years of discussion of what to do and how to partner with the city of Columbus. But ultimately, we had a welcome from that city council there in Columbus to expand our services rather than them start up their own organization, and us to expand and bring our services to that community. And it's been a very worthwhile experience and endeavor for us to bring our services to that community as well. But then also allowed us to expand our entire service area from not just a 40-mile radius of northeast Nebraska from Norfolk, but to actually 7 different counties that we serve. And those are listed in your annual report there. The counties that we serve are Colfax, Cumming, Platte, Pierce, Madison, Stanton, and Wayne counties. In those 7 counties, there's approximately 50 communities that we serve. To date, I think we've been able to provide housing services in about 30 of those communities. So we've definitely have reached out to the area, not just the larger communities of the Norfolks and the Columbus and Schuyler's. The handouts that you have there is our annual report that was compiled for our production as of December of last year. And so just some reading material for you to take through. Take some time to read through it. One thing I'd like to point out is on the middle flap, here where there's a dollar symbol. We are a lean organization. Basically, of every dollar that comes into our doors, only 7 cents of that dollar is expended on administration. So we do put out 93 cents of every dollar back into the community, into the programs that we do carry out. We operate under 3 different lines of business. The one that we do the most in is our housing rehabilitation, where we do purchase existing homes, rehab them, and sell them to families that are eligible for our program. Also, we have home ownership promotion, which is our program where we provide the down payment assistance for clients to help with their financing. The home buyer education component, where we do provide home buyer education classes on a monthly basis, alternating between Norfolk and Columbus, as well as 6 times a year we do them in Spanish. So we continue to educate homeowners of what the importance is and what the process is of going through and purchasing a home. The last area is community revitalization, which is kind of a catch-all, which allows us to do some new construction, whether it's infill or into a subdivision, as well as just work with communities, and like we have with the City of Norfolk here on the CR program, the Community Revitalization Program, to demo dilapidated properties, clear the lot, and then build a new house on that same lot. So we've been in partnership with the city on that in the past as well. The other handout is more of the impact as far as what we have done here in the community of Norfolk. To date, so this is as of the end of 2011. We've housed over 320 families. You can see the makeup of there is 452 adults and 335 children. Of those 320 units, 69 were new construction. The majority of them were in the Meadow Ridge subdivision, and they're again in partnership with the city, and also the Housing Development Division, where we partnered to have the joint venture of building the homes there in that area. And then there's been 9 other in infill at various locations, as well as in the Woodland Park area. The houses rehabbed of 251. Like I said, that's where we go in and purchase an existing home, do minor or major rehabilitation to that house and then sell that home. And every time we sell a home, we do provide down payment assistance, where that can be up to $20,000. It's 20% of the sale price. So if someone's buying a house at $100,000, we can provide them up to $20,000 down payment assistance. And that loan is due upon resale. So it's not a gift, it's not a grant to that home buyer. It is due back to us in full upon sale of the home. Whether they sell the home, move out of the community, or upgrade and move into a larger home, that down payment assistance is always due back to us. And I think right now we have an outstanding balance of notes receivable right at $5 million is the amount of portfolio that we are maintaining at the current time. The value of those 320 homes is almost $27 million. And the next number there I really would like to emphasize is the increase in real estate valuation. Due to the efforts of our program and of our partners that we've worked with, the new homes and the added value that we have added to the homes has increased those values around $9.4 million. Relate that to the amount of income real estate taxes collected here in the city is about $188,000. So now every year when you collect the real estate taxes, the homes that we've worked on over the 15, 16 years, the city is collecting additional $188,000 in real estate taxes. So just want to share with you that a small organization can definitely be an economic tool for the community and for the area to help with the economics and generate additional taxes for a city, county to collect and put back into the community. Households educated, 1,740. That's the number of households that we have educated here in Norfolk for individuals interested in buying a home. Obviously, we have not had that many home buyers. We've had 320, but our education is open to the public. There's no income restrictions on that. And finally, we are getting to a point of really seeing more and more people wanting to come to our class to find out what the process is about becoming a home buyer, rather than being there because they have to because of a requirement of a certain program. So we do have a large number of people wanting to continue to get educated on the process. Number of jobs, I have a calculator that I can use that we have through NeighborWorks America, and with the number of homes and the values, estimated number of jobs supported through our development here in Norfolk is about 540 jobs, ranging from contractors to lenders to real estate agents to title companies to insurance agents. We bring in everybody together, about around 540 jobs. And the economic impact of selling around $27 million of property, the economic impact is around $74 million. And the last number there is the overall grant awards, the $11,704,000. That's the amount of grants that we have brought in to support our organization from day one. So if we were not here to bring those dollars into our area, those dollars would have gone elsewhere. So we are very successful in obtaining grant funds, whether it's federal dollars or state funds, as well as we get funds from NeighborWorks America, since we've been affiliated with them since 2005 is when we received our charter with NeighborWorks America. The bottom there kind of lists a few of our housing initiatives that we have worked on. Obviously, the Meadow Ridge Housing Subdivision, community revitalization. We've worked with Habitat, and we continue to work with the Young Professionals and Intern Housing Program. And on the bottom right-hand side is our partners, and these are our financial partners that have contributed and do contribute dollars to us to help with our operations of our organization. The Nebraska Department of Economic Development, NeighborWorks America, NYFA, Development District, USDA, HUD, the Community Foundation, Paul McIntosh, both City of Columbus and City of Schuyler, and the Schuyler Development Company. So that's kind of a rundown, a little bit about what our impact has been in developing affordable housing here in the Norfolk community. Some things that we're working on right now is we do currently have a membership campaign in process. As also, I do a lot of advocacy work. I know Mayor Sue, you hear about this when you go to the legislative meetings, that I am involved on the state level in advocating for dollars for affordable housing, whether it's determining the valuation of income-restricted properties to actually grant funds that help organizations like us, as well as the city, to apply for to bring into the community for development of affordable housing, whether it's rental or new construction. Every year, our state legislature continues to have that pretty much on the agenda, and in this year we were able to increase the trust fund by $1 million. We were hoping for more, but that's what we settled on. Then also on the national level, definitely in contact with the senators and our representatives on what's going on on national level with housing, as well as how it affects our local communities. And I am also working with very closely with both Senators Nelson and Johans and Representative Fortenberry on a current issue relative to the access and eligibility of USDA mortgage products. Back in 1990, USDA grandfathered in Norfolk and Columbus and about 500 other communities across the country to still be eligible communities for homebuyers to access their unique mortgage product. That was good for 10 years. It renewed in 2000, and then in 2000 it was renewed for another 10 years. That's coming up based on the 2010 census. And with that, both senators and all three of the representatives have this as a priority for them to get this extended. And what that does is it allows communities that are above the 20,000 threshold that USDA requires, but they're under 25,000 still to be eligible to offer the USDA mortgage product. And we're finally seeing some movement on that legislation. Like I said, I've been in contact with Johans and Nelson's office almost sometimes on a daily basis during these last few weeks. And when Johans was in the area last week, I met with him 3 times and always brought it up every time I saw him. And also when I was at the Columbus Chamber meeting last Monday, Representative Fortenberry was there and we had a chat about it too. So what it is, it definitely will make a huge impact on our housing economy and home buyers in our communities here in Norfolk and Columbus. So I've been trying to take the lead and trying to keep everybody informed of what's going on with that, and I'm hoping that something will happen with that, even if we get a short extension, then look for a more permanent extension later. So spend a lot of time doing things like that, which a lot of times people don't realize that a small organization like us is making and sharing our voice with the state and national leaders in our country. Some of the new initiatives that we're starting to work on is a financial literacy program. As we find out more and more, especially these days, that it's harder for individuals to get a mortgage loan because the restriction and the more intense underwriting process, whether it's credit scores or job, length of their job, things like that. So we are in the early stages of setting up a financial literacy program, which will hopefully then create and help people get in the position of being a home buyer. So when they're ready to go to the bank for getting their loan approved, they have improved their credit, they have a better budget, and things like that. So we're going to be offering that to the public as well. And Jody has been surveying a lot of our individuals going through our homebuyer class, and they continue to say that there's a lot of interest in that. We've talked to different financial institutions, and they see that there's a need for it too. So we're hopefully get that put together this fall and start offering it later this year. We're also looking at a rehab lending program. And I said housing for interns and young professionals. And then also we are looking at starting a second phase of a subdivision in Columbus. We completed a 43-unit subdivision similar to Meadow Ridge, but a lot smaller, only 43 units. That is about 2 or 3 more houses need to be sold in that property. And so we're working with that city in Columbus there to start a second division, maybe about 18 units. So that's a little bit about what we have done, where we're at, and what we're looking at to do. And want to share that with you and be glad to answer any questions anybody might have. Or
Roger, I had a question. You mentioned NeighborWorks of America. What scope of participation do they have nationally, like state organizations, or I guess I'm curious the number of people nationally that are involved in that.
Okay, sure. We did receive our charter from NeighborWorks America in 2005, and there are about 250 organizations like us that are chartered with NeighborWorks America. They do get federal funds directly from HUD that they can then deliver and we apply for to support our organization, whether it's operational or development. It's not the large dollars like we can get otherwise from the state, but it all helps. They also have great training institutes about 4 times a year, and Anywhere from 1,500 to 2,000 people attend those training institutes, and we have all attended many of them, and Joe has attended some as well. Actually today, this week, two of my employees, Leslie Coleman and Karen Eisenbraun are there right now. And so the training opportunities and the opportunity to share with other peers of similar organizations like us is very valuable to our organization. It's not just the dollars, but it's the network, as well as they review us every 3 years. We just finished our review last fall, in December they came in. And it's not just like an audit looking at our financials. They look at our programs and how we have everything set up financially, but also programs and what we have in all of our files, our project files, what everything is documented, our outreach into the communities. And there's 4 different ratings that we do receive. And we did receive and can maintain our exemplary rating with NeighborWorks America. So that's a big feather in our hat that we like to be proud of and boast about, because I think only about, out of the 250, there's about 70 organizations that have that exemplary status. And so there are certain standards that we do need to maintain to be chartered with that organization. We still have local control. We're still locally governed by our local board. It's just an opportunity for us to share on a national level with the national organization.
Thank you.
Sure.
Roger, one of the things I noticed is some great numbers in here to look at. The number that really caught my attention was the 7 cents out of every dollar.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys are doing a bang-up job there. All of you people are. Not only does it show good management, but it maximizes the dollars that you do have in the program for the people that do need them. So I just wanted to say, nice job.
Thank you. Thanks. And we've been at that for several years. So our auditor, when he comes and gives us a report, I mean, he's just boasting just like we are that, just has another clean audit, and we just are going through audit, and it's going to be a clean audit once again. And he's continues to tell us that he doesn't know of any other nonprofit that runs a shop like we do and has lean based on the dollars that we put back into the communities.
I don't know that anyone has the passion that you do for it either, Roger. So we're very fortunate. And I can express that certainly by serving on the board the short time that I was a part of it. But he does do a great job. And let me tell you, if there's anyone that can be in testimony for what it is that he believes in front of those federal people as well as those state people, you do a remarkable job. So, in fact, I think, if I'm not mistaken, he was brought to our attention as we go forward tomorrow to D.C. that we were going to be speaking in your behalf as well. So
Thank you.
I'm proud to do that. And again, I think the other thing, kudos, you talk about the households that you educated, the 1,700. I think it really is, I believe, in the short time I was there, those people that walked out of there with a lesson learned that maybe now is not the time for them, and to see you continuing on in the direction that you're going to help them put themselves in position says a lot for it too. So that's very helpful for those that.
And we do constantly hear anyone going through our program and receiving our down payment assistance are required to go to it. Sometimes they come with not the most positive attitude, but once they leave, Jody continues to say that many times they say, I wish I would have known this information earlier because I might have done things differently, or I'm glad I really have that information now so I can move forward and make the right choice in their life.
Well, congratulations on your exemplary.
Great. Thank you.
That's great.
Thanks for that.
Anyone else that has comments or questions? Appreciate you all being here. Jody, Joe, is there anything you want to add to it? Mitch?
I just appreciate the support of the North Fork community. It's been a great community to work in.
Well, good. Good. Continued success to you all.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. With that, we're going to talk about a recreation update. Who's on tonight?
I'm going to take it.
Okay.
Well, we've been continuing to make progress down at the Veterans Memorial Park. As of tomorrow, I believe all of the parking lot areas for the entire facility will be paved except one small one that's part of the McElhaney contract over by the mechanical building. But large parking lot north of the Armory, they finished up. They'll finish up paving that tomorrow. Started breaking out the rest of the road from First Street back to the parking lot, so we'll have a brand new entrance all the way from First Street into the parking lot, hopefully by the end of the week. So Side note, they continue to work on the project down by in front of the Armory, so there's a little bit of a tie-in in the alley area that will tie into the city's parking lot. They can't be done until we get strength on the part that they just poured this week. The pool contractors are continuing to make progress. They filled and tested the recreation pool for leaks during the last couple of week period. Did a rim flow test on it, where they're basically making sure that we got water flowing over the entire rim of the pool at the same time. They're very close on that. I think they've got it close enough. We'll go operational with what we got. They may have to do some fine-tuned tweaking on that this fall after we see how the summer transpires. First coat of paint went on the recreation pool today. The wave pool is currently filled with water, doing a leak test on that. So far it appears to be good. It's a 7-day test, so we're about halfway through that. We did a rim flow test on that last week as well before they started the static water test. They've got a few places they had to do a little bump grinding here or there, and hopefully we'll have a nice calm day when we get to the end of the leak test so we can do another test. Don't happen very often in Nebraska that you get calm water at 6 o'clock in the morning and calm water at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, but we caught one of those days. Continuing to work on the decks around the pools. Wave pool deck is probably 95+% complete. Got a good start around the recreation pool. Made some pours 2-3 days last week. Going to be pouring, I think, Wednesday and Thursday of this week. So they'll make a big dent in that. Got the area between the two pools that they're kind of working on and forming, and that'll probably be poured the following week. Mako Haney has the area around the concession area. That got paved last week, and they're kind of working on the as you exit from the bathhouse or the multipurpose building to tie into the decks. They're supposed to start the resinous flooring on Wednesday. That's about a 2-week process, and then we'll be in there and doing the final touch-ups of various things. Electrician's been hanging lights, and the plumber's been hanging fixtures and toilet partitions and all of those good things. So we are making progress, and we'll be swimming in June. Answer
Wow.
questions.
Dennis?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I had a question. The baseball facility, is that, probably aside from a little bit after the season's over, is that pretty much completed?
I think the baseball facility's getting pretty close. We got some fences and things as the two projects are tied together, so we still have temporary construction fencing down there around the baseball facility, and probably we'll have up until middle of June. I think that's probably about the time when all the fencing will come together. But for the most part, it's getting pretty close.
Any other questions? Anyone? Yes, go ahead, sir.
Dennis, I know this isn't your project, but I know the same contractors are involved. Do you know what the completion time is for the guard project? And they've pretty much got that done except for what's immediately north of the building, isn't that correct?
That is correct. I think they were putting up fence out there here in the last week or so. They've got a piece of concrete to pour between their parking lot and the city parking lot so that when we get the heavy rains, we don't wash out all the landscaping between the two parking lots. The guard is doing that. So there's a small piece of fence that needs to be done there. And the primary thing that they've got left, or the big area, is that parking lot north of the guard building. And I think that has been graded. And I think it's just a matter of that's the next place in their progression to go. Hopefully they will pull off and pave that little piece of street on out to First Street as soon as Porter gets the concrete out of there and the grade made. And looked a little spongy when they were hammering on it today, so.
I must, obviously I don't get too close down there, but I go through the alley every now and then, and I've noticed that some of those backyards have really taken pride in cleaning up some of the backyards over there too, and I commend them for that. I think that truly is setting the stage for what's going to be I realize it's been an inconvenience for those people living down there, but I think they really stepped up to the plate, and it really helped to make it look nice back there, because obviously there's been a lot of traffic flow through there just to see what's going on. So I've noticed it, and it's appreciated. So
And one of the comments that we heard along the way, I think Shane did when he was talking to those folks, was the alley, over time, the dirt on the east side of the alley has kind of grown up and is trapping water onto the alley. So we've asked the contractor, as they're doing their final grading in there, to get that pulled down and get that water so it sheet flows off of the alley and back off to the east again, and that should help improve that situation back there for those folks as well. So.
good.
Dennis, I know one of the things that we had earlier on talked about, and it was closing off that alley in between in there, and then we were going to do some landscaping or something. Have we resolved our plans on that, or is that something that's going to happen?
We've had some discussions with David Burbach, who is donating his services for the design of that. And we got kind of a rough plan there. He's supposed to be putting together some more details to that. And then we're looking at doing that as a change order to the McElhaney contract. We've got some sidewalks in there and some planting areas and some berms, and really makes sense for him to do it because on the north side we've trapped him, and the only place he's got to get in and out is across that lot on the north side. So it would be just kind of nice to let him kind of back himself out of the site and then make some landscaping there. So that will probably be coming along, and it will be after the rest of the facility is up and potentially operational. But we still have those thoughts in mind and moving forward with it. So.
Okay.
So Dennis, just kind of clarify, you think that the alleys will definitely be closed at the opening, but we won't have the landscaping done, is what you're saying?
That's correct. When they put the new street back in, there aren't going to be any curb openings for the alley. So we'll have to go down there and close them off a little tighter. But
Okay. Any other questions on the project at all? You want to carry on then with 25th Street, Dennis?
we can talk about 25th Street. We put some concrete down last week up by the bridge.
Yeah.
Contractor poured 300 or 400 feet there. Contractor, on the bridge contractor, he has the piles driven for the north or the south abutment. Been working on the sheet pile back walls. Talked to him this afternoon. He was headed for a bigger hammer. Sheet piles just weren't cooperating with the equipment he had, but he'll get there. The contractors have been working on storm sewer and water relocations between Norfolk Avenue and Pizza Hut. They have a piece from about west side south to the Pizza Hut entrance there, Taylor Avenue, that's going to get poured tomorrow, unless we get a gully washer or something tonight, but that will be ready to go. They'll turn around and do the other half in probably about a week when they can get back get strength on the original piece. We're going to be closing Norfolk Avenue. It appears to be, best guess right now is Wednesday. And the utility contractor says he's got about a month of work in that intersection. That's before the pavers get there. So it's going to be closed for a while. Prospect will be open, and hopefully we've got all the construction folks that are needing to work right on that intersection of 25th and Prospect out of there while we've got Norfolk Avenue closed. So
Okay.
be inconvenience for that
Yeah.
crosstown traffic, and I'm sure I'll drive to work on Wednesday morning and go, oh darn. So that's kind of where we're at on 25th Street. Continue to make progress, and I would say we're probably making good progress.
Well, good. Okay. All right. Any questions on that at all? No one?
I don't have any questions on that. I would like to go back a half hour and talk about that poster child thing that we're having. No, I'm just,
Are you gonna take him on?
no,
Okay.
I've seen him
Okay.
ride.
Yeah.
He's good at that.
All right, I see nothing further on the agenda, so with that then, we are adjourned. Thanks, everyone. Oh, yes, yes. Will you hang on to it, because I won't be going in there for a while. I'm off.
Yeah.
I'll think of you when I
When you're getting up for your coffee and I'm going to bed.
No, when I start shutting it down about 9 o'clock.